Still continuing with 4.2, we're going to be identifying the vertex axis of symmetry, max and min, and the range of this function here. So remember, we use the formula x equals negative b over 2a. And we plug in our values, so b is negative 6, and a is 2. Negative times a negative is positive. 2 times 2 is 4. Reduce this and we get 3 halves. So our axis of symmetry is x equals 3 halves, which makes our x value of our vertex to be 3 halves. And when we plug x back into our original function, we get negative 3 halves for y. And which means we have to figure out if we have a max or a min. Since our graph opens up, we will have a min, and it's the y value of our vertex, so negative 3 halves. And then our range, put that down here, y, since our graph opens up, greater than or equal to negative 3 halves. So I think you're getting the hang of this now, so go ahead and graph this function. So if we notice there, it gives us the vertex and the y-intercept. So if we plot our vertex at 3, 6, and our y-intercept is 2, remember your vertex is your point of reflection, so reflect it over to the other side. So I have another point at 6, 2. Connect your points and you are done. And then for this one, you need to find your vertex. And when you do that, remember you use x equals negative b over 2a. You should get a vertex of 1, 3. And your y-intercept is 4, because if you plug in 0 for x here and 0 for x here, you're left with 4. Reflect it over, and you're done. So we're just graphing functions from the standard form of our equation. And the same thing for this one. Go ahead and plot your points, figure out your vertex, figure out your y-intercept. And your vertex should be negative 3 halves and 33 fourths. And your y-intercept is 6. And the last part of today is putting this into vertex form, which means we first have to identify our vertex. So to do that, we've got to do negative b over 2a. When we do that, we get our x value to be 5 halves. Sorry, negative 5 halves. And when we plug that back into our original equation, we get negative 11 halves. And then to write this in vertex form will be y equals, your number out front of your x squared term will always be the first number. Then we'll have our parentheses, x. And remember, since our vertex is negative 5 halves, remember you switch the sign when we write it back in vertex form, so it'll be plus 5 halves. And this is all squared. And then we put our y value at the end, which is negative 11 halves. And we're done. Pretty simple. All I gotta do is find the vertex and plug her in. So you guys go ahead, identify your vertex, and write it in vertex form. When you do that, you should get a vertex of 2, negative 1. So to write it in vertex form, we get y equals negative, parenthesis x minus 2 squared minus 1. And we'll be working on this in class tomorrow.